I'll tell you what you really need to expect. Like after being, I think it's been about roughly, let me see, June, July, August, September, October, November, May, June. So probably at least like 7, 8 months. I'll say 7, 8 months. So it's been about 7 to 8 months since I lowered this truck. So if you're thinking to yourself right now, you want to lower your truck, but you don't know how low you want to go or what kind of setup you want to get, what kind of suspension setup you want to get, or what really happened when you do lower your truck. I'm going to be sharing with you guys right now in this video, guys. Happy Thanksgiving. I hope you guys are having a wonderful day today. And obviously, it is a different day I'm recording this on. So I'm doing it one day ahead because tomorrow's Thanksgiving. You're not going to have the time to be able to upload and stay committed to uploading every day. But I'm going to be sharing with you guys a few things about this truck right here. If you plan on lowering one of these trucks, what you really need to be expecting and what really happened after that, after you lower these trucks. Right now I'm sitting on I think the front is at a 2-3 inch. I think it's a 2-4 drop, I believe. I'm not too sure. It is a fully adjustable coilovers on the front. Beltec in the back, also Beltec lowering springs. So what really happened when you really lower a truck like this? Because there's people normally talk a lot of crap about you lowering a truck. You're gonna have ton of stuff happening and stuff like that. So I'm gonna be real with you guys right now. About to sit in the vehicle right now. We're gonna talk about the truth on what really happened after you lower your truck. Now, to clarify for you guys, this is something that strictly does really depend on like for example, let's say the kind of setup you're going with, because I'm gonna be honest with you guys too. I think when you lowering the pickup truck, my personal opinion, I think that when you lower a truck, depending how low you go, the more lower you go, the more chances of you having multiple issues. You gotta upgrade a bunch of things when you lower a truck anyway at the end of the day. So from my knowledge, me, lowering my truck at a 2-4 drop, it is adjustable coilovers in the front, and then I have the rear shocks in the back. So what I would tell you, what you really need to expect, like after being, I think it's been about roughly, let me see, June, July, August, September, October, November, May, June. So probably at least like 7, 8 months. I'll say 7, 8 months. So it's been about 7 to 8 months since I lowered this truck. And coming from a stock height, this truck wasn't really that high up, but you guys know the regular height of a Ram and stuff like that, they're not really that big. And so what I really did, right? What do you need to expect? If you plan on doing this is what I'm gonna tell you. I would say my first thing is don't go low. Like I'm saying, don't go crazy low. There's a ton of, downside about you doing it. Yes, it does make the truck look good. Now, it depends. If your truck is a 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive, you have a quad cab, or you have a single cab, crew cab, whatever. Now, I would say the reason why it doesn't matter, like if you have either one, I think that the best comfortable ride, I'll say, I wouldn't say comfortable, but in my personal opinion, this is like the best height for these trucks right here. I think the 2-4 drop or 3-4 drop, whatever you want to call it. But I would say this is like the best height the lowest that you should go with these trucks, because especially if your truck has a 4-wheel drive. I don't know about you, but for me, I want to be able to use my 4-wheel drive, especially where I live. It does snow every now and then. I mean, it snows, but we don't get like crazy amount of snow like some states. But also, when you go lower, you got to change up a lot of parts, and your truck gonna drive like, it's gonna drive like shit regardless, because of the fact that you lower the truck. It doesn't even matter on the height. If you go real, like, even if you're going super low or if you don't go low, your truck still, I mean, if you lower a little bit, your truck's still gonna be driving very, very bouncy, like not crazy, but it's gonna be bouncy, and you're still gonna be able to feel like the bumps. Believe it or not, you're still gonna be able to feel the bumps and stuff, because the fact that obviously the truck is not saying at a factory height. It's just something that comes with when you lower any kind of car at the end of the day. But for me, I just feel like the most, if you haven't decided yet how low you want to go, this drop is like the best drop that you should go with, because number one, my truck, I'm going to be using this truck to later on down the line be able to take it to the track and be able to race. So I don't want to have a truck that's slammed to the ground. And then, you see what I'm saying? Unless you have airbags or something like that, but which is real expensive. But then that's different. But I think that with my setup, if your idea is for you to make your truck fast, take it to the track and stuff, and still be able to fit your stock tires on there, and also put on some nice size drag setup tires on there, and don't have a crazy gap or anything like that, or have it, hitting the fenders and stuff, I think this is like the right height right here for me, in my personal opinion, from my experience and stuff like that. Now, far as the ride quality, damn, I can't even effing talk. I will say, right, compared to stock, I'm be real. Stock, most definitely, I was not feeling every effing bump on the road as I am now. I'm saying, like, potholes, bumps and stuff is like the worst nightmare for any kind of lower truck, lower car at the end of the day. But when you are driving on a smooth road, you do feel like that. You feel a little bit of the bounce, but it feels much better than when you are driving on any kind of bumps or potholes or something like that, to be honest, in my personal opinion. So that's just something for you to expect when you are like really like when you lower your truck, And another thing I noticed is, not that I really care much about it, but some people, some people do care about stuff like this. Like, I would say your gas mileage and stuff like that, what I was averaging before when this truck was at probably when it was at stock height. Right now I think I'm getting somewhere around 18, 17. I think 16 to 17. I went up a little bit, but stock height, I was seeing a much better gas mileage than now. Now that the truck is lower a little bit more, lower now, I'm definitely not seeing as good as of what I was seeing before. But that really, like, me honestly, I really don't care much about the gas mileage with my truck, because at the end of the day, you gotta understand that pickup trucks are not meant for it to be a gas saver. It's, at the end of the day, it's a truck. It's not like a car that's meant for you to save gas and stuff like that. So whatever, if you've seen 16, 15, 17, that's still not too bad, but I'm not gonna complain about that. But honestly, this is what really, like, far as the bouncing, the gas mileage, all of this stuff right here is just really, like, this is what I would say you really gotta expect. Like, but overall though, the biggest thing that I love the most since I lowered this truck is the fact that this truck right now is like pretty much looking way more better than it looked before, when it was kind of like at the stock height, when it was at the stock height. I don't know what's going on. I cannot get my words out of my mouth, but I would say for looks, you're definitely gonna get that. Now, adding some drag setup tires, wheels, and stuff like that. Obviously, don't get no drag setup tires, wheels, until you see the fact that your truck have some few bolt-on stuff and stuff like that. I'm not, me, honestly, I do want to get some real nice drag setup tires next year for this truck, but I'm not going to put some drag tires on. Don't be that guy to put some drag tires set up on your car, your truck, if your truck is pretty much stock. I wouldn't recommend you do so. Now, if you have a custom tune, little bolt-on things and stuff, yes, you could. That's just my personal opinion, but honestly, I would say, far as everything else, though, I'll say everything else for me, really, like this is not the first time I lower any kind of car and stuff like that. So I would definitely say everything for me is like uphill. And I would definitely recommend, if you are planning on doing this, obviously spend that extra money. Get yourself a good lowering kit setup, a good name with good reviews and stuff out there. Because all of that stuff going to play a part in your car driving good and also quality of the parts and stuff like that. So that just, that's just common sense. But at the end of the day, guys, you could do whatever you want to do with your vehicle. But I'm just sharing with you guys right now my own personal thoughts on this and how I feel about it and what you really should expect, so far. Like, it's been crazy to think, it's been about 7 to 8 months, somewhere around there, since I lowered this truck. It's crazy. I still remember the exact day how everything went, and it was a nightmare. I ain't gonna lie to you guys. Lowering this truck was the worst. Like, I wouldn't say it was the worst decision I made, but doing the work was a nightmare. I ain't gonna lie. I wouldn't go back to try to do the same thing again. But I think that the reason why it took us so long to do so is because my belief is the fact that the parts on the truck, like the upper control arm, lower control arm, the springs, everything was still pretty much factory stuff. I'm assuming it haven't been touched before in a while. That's probably why it seemed like somebody had glued it on there and it took so long. But this is what you got to expect, though. I'm for me, this is what I experienced. For some people it's different, but I'm just sharing with you guys what I think that you should at least expect when you plan on lowering your truck or after you lower your truck and stuff like that. Some people experience different things, but do me a favor, though, before I end this video, make sure you hit that like and you hit that subscribe button and support the channel. I would definitely appreciate it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Stay safe. Peace out.